Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side gig. Welcome, Peter. What is happening? Welcome. So, I was gonna go on earlier today, but got some news and kind of bummed me out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. The news kind of got me bummed out. Jenny, how are you? Welcome. And so I was talking with a couple people about this, but anyway, we are here and we are live. So tonight I want to tell a story. I haven't told a story for a little bit. It's a story of a grandfather taking his grandson on a kayaking trip. I wanted to teach the little guy a little about life. Yeah, thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it. So wanted to teach the little guy something about life, right? So he takes the little grandkid out in the water. He takes him out on the kayak, has him row all the way. The grandfather doesn't touch a single thing. It just sits there, and the kid rows and rows and gets to a point where it's almost sunset time, and it's just gorgeous, right? So they sit right there in the front for a second and they enjoy the sunset, and before you know it, like within a few minutes, if you would, the grandfather says, let's go back, and the grandson is kind of surprised a little bit, and sure enough, they start to row back, except again, the grandfather doesn't touch a single thing. He just has the grandson row back, if you would, right? So by the time they get back, it's kind of late, and they get off the kayak, if you would, and the grandson is not too happy, right? The grandson's not too happy, and the grandfather can tell, and so like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, what's wrong? I was really looking forward to this day, and then you take me out there. First of all, you have me row all the way there by myself, and then when we get there, we can't even sit there and enjoy the sunset for long, and then we have to row back, and then when I row back, I have to row back everything. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I didn't have fun, and my body aches, I'm out of breath and kind of aggravated, you know. And the father says, well, life is a lot like kayaking. About 90% of it is you gotta row and row and row. And about 10% is what you get to enjoy. But you gotta be rowing all the time, most of the time, in order to be able to enjoy that 10%. Short but to the point. I'll tell you what, there's so many times I'm guilty of this. I'm going to tell you, I'm the first one to admit I am so guilty of this, that so many times I have, Elham June, how are you? Welcome, good to see you. So many times I know. So many times I have switched that ratio. I have kind of just been lazy for 90% of the times, and 10% has been the reward, and obviously not even enough to do much. So I know I have swapped that. I know I have, but what a beautiful illustration, right? I mean, that's just how life is. A lot of times you got to just row and keep rowing and keep rowing and keep rowing, which means you got to, what, like the good book says, you got to sow the seed. He kept on sowing the seed. He kept on sowing the seed. Sometimes it falls on rocky ground. Sometimes the birds will come and get the seeds. Sometimes it just won't grow. And sometimes it falls on good soil. So you've got to keep sowing the seed. You've got to keep sowing the seed, and that's what this whole story is an illustration of. Got to keep growing. It's like the duck, right? You see a duck on the water kind of floating, but you see his feet under the water, and they're just going like a gazillion miles an hour, right? So it's not always, it's mostly about the hustle, the journey, than it is about the result, right? So many times you go through a rough journey. You get beat up, right? You get beat up, and then you get to the end, and they say, well, and you say, oh, it was worth the journey. It was worth the walk. It was worth the run. It was worth the hustle. It was worth all the taking, all the nays and the hays and the hates. It was worth it. Sometimes you get to the end and you're like, what the heck did I do? Right? Some of the choices may be off, but at the end of the day, like you've seen me wear that shirt. I should have probably worn that shirt today. Marry the process, divorce the result. Right? It's about the journey. It's about the struggle. It's about the calluses that form in your paws, right? Because without it, nobody wants to hear the story. And you've heard me say this multiple times. It's not, you see the glory, but you don't know the story. It's all about the story. So it's all about that rowing when you explain to somebody, hey, it took me a while. I had to build my muscles. I had to struggle. I had to learn to kayak. I had to do it right until I get to that sunset. And then I figured it out, right? So be careful when it comes to that. Don't switch the ratios. Don't be putting in 10% of rowing and expecting 90% of result. Kind of doesn't go hand in hand together, right? And that's such a perfect illustration for our profession in direct sales and network marketing, if you would. So many people, this is the only place that people say, okay, I want to do the least amount of work, but I want to make the most amount of money, right? Oh, I don't have time to listen to that call. Oh, how long is it? 20 minutes? Oh my God, I don't have time for that. Oh, I can't do that training. Oh, you know what? I can't go to the website. I can't. But then, you know what? I'm not making the money. I want that money. It's like, okay, right? So be careful when you're doing the ratios. Don't be putting in 10% work and expecting 90% result. That formula is going to get you very discouraged in all areas of life. My mentor says, don't be upset by the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. And that's so good. Don't be upset about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. Just be truthful with yourself. So be careful when you're doing the ratios. It's mostly about you sowing the seed and then hitting it big. So hopefully you got some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the prayers and the thoughts. Drop your thoughts, your feedback, your comments below. Let this feed grow. I'd love to get your feedback on this one. I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna text me or chat me on this. Be brave. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, be brave and put it up here. But hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do. Spread the love. Tag a couple people, share it on your wall. Again, thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. I know the team appreciates it. And with that, I am Sean Azimi with Side Gig Sean, signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.